everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Today we'll be taking you on a behind-the-scenes tour of Europe brought to you by your University Alumni Association and AESU Alumni World Travel. AESU has developed and operated exceptional travel programs since 1977. The trip we'll be discussing is the Essential Europe graduation trip, and there are two options for you to choose from. Either the 18-day trip to 8 countries or the longer 23-day trip to 9 countries. You'll be visiting England, France, Belgium, Holland, Germany, Austria, Italy, and Vatican City, and if you continue on the optional 5-day extension, you'll also visit Greece. The Essential Europe trip begins in London. Upon arrival at the airport, you'll be met by your tour director and then transferred to the London hotel if you purchase airfare with AESU. If you purchase air on your own, you'll be in charge of transferring to the hotel. It's easy and you can always call us prior to departure for options on how to arrange it. Once you get to the hotel, you have a free afternoon to relax after your flight. In the evening, you'll get together for a welcome orientation followed by a fun London pub crawl. This is a great time to get to know your tour director and fellow travelers. The following morning is our city tour, where you'll see places like Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, and Piccadilly Circus. Lunch in the afternoon are at your leisure, and you'll receive a day pass for the tube, which you can use to go see more of London. Throughout the trip, your tour director can help you with any questions you might have. If you need ideas about things to do during your free time, just ask your tour director. That's what they're there for. On the morning of day 4, you'll travel from downtown London to downtown Paris on the high-speed Eurostar train. The trip only takes about 2 hours, and you'll travel through the tunnel below the English Channel at up to 186 miles per hour. Once you get to Paris, our local art historian will introduce you to all the exciting sights, such as the Arc de Triomphe, the Eiffel Tower, and the Hunchback's Notre Dame Cathedral. In the evening, you'll enjoy a French bistro dinner, followed by a cruise on the Seine River. All the monuments and fountains will be illuminated, which will make for some great photo ops. Your next day in Paris is free for you to do and see whatever most interests you. Join your tour director this morning for an optional visit to a French perfumery and museum, where you'll learn all about the art of perfume manufacturing from ancient times. Afterward, consider visiting the Palace of Versailles, well known as Louis XIV's residence. Your 2-day museum pass gives you access to the Hall of Mirrors and the King's Grand Chambers, as well as over 70 museums, like the Louvre and other famous sites all around the city, and your Paris travel card will give you access to public transportation throughout the city. This evening, consider joining us for a legendary can-can cabaret show at the world-famous Moulin Rouge. Your tour director will find out who wants to go beforehand and purchase a ticket for you. In the morning, we begin our journey to Amsterdam. On the way, we will stop in Belgium for a quick visit. You'll have time to explore the area around the beautiful medieval square, the Grand Place. Then it's on to amazing Amsterdam and Holland's colorful windmills. Once you arrive in Amsterdam, there's time to settle in, then enjoy a leisurely night on the town. The next day, everyone is invited to go on a bike ride with us through 13th century Dutch fishing villages. Afterward, you'll be taken to see wooden shoes being carved and then sample Edam cheeses at a local cheese farm. Later in the afternoon, we return to Amsterdam, where you'll have free time to see more of the city or visit the Van Gogh or Rijksmuseum. In the evening, you'll cruise on the canals after enjoying a fun Dutch-Indonesian rice table dinner. Next, we cross the German border into Cologne, where you'll stop to see one of the world's largest cathedrals. After free time for lunch, you'll embark on a cruise on the fabled Rhine River past ancient castles, steeply sloped vineyards, and the legendary Loreley Rock. After the cruise, we'll continue to Heidelberg, the city of the student prince. Climb to the castle ruins of the castle of the Palatine Elector for a bird's eye view of the city and the Neckar River. Then enjoy an evening at your leisure. The next morning, you continue on Germany's romantic road to the stunning medieval city of Rottenburg. Enjoy free time to explore this charming city, then have lunch at a local pub called Gasthaus before traveling on to the fun-filled Oktoberfest city of Munich. Once in Munich, enjoy an evening at leisure, but don't forget to check out the beer and Umpapa bands at the famous Bavarian beer hall, the Hofbrauhaus. The next morning, we visit the Dachau Memorial Site. During afternoon free time, consider visiting the BMW Museum, seeing the Glockenspiel chimes, or shop for ornate beer steins and lederhosen. At tonight's dinner, enjoy authentic Bavarian dishes. The next morning, we continue on to the Berchtesgaden salt mines, where you'll dress up in miner's clothes, ride on a funicular, and slide down into the salt mine. This is a really fun, once-in-a-lifetime experience. Next stop, charming Salzburg, Austria, the birthplace of Mozart and the site where the classic movie The Sound of Music was filmed. You'll have time to wander along the narrow cobbled streets lined with unique shops and cafes. Then we're headed off to Europe's largest alpine sports region in the heart of the snow-capped Austrian Alps, where you'll be pampered for 2 nights and enjoy hearty alpine cuisine. On your second day, there's time to relax for hiking in the mountains, or if you're feeling adventurous, join our optional whitewater rafting experience. Intriguing Venice, Italy is our next destination. A private boat takes us to Murano Island, Venice's glassmaking center since the 13th century. After watching a demonstration of the glassblowing skills, you'll have the day to walk along the famous canals. Take this opportunity and try the famous Italian ice cream, gelato, offered by vendors throughout the city. Later on, consider taking a gondola ride, a true Venetian experience. Day 14 has us venturing to Michelangelo's Florence. The city has been called an outdoor museum by many visitors, and on your half-day Florence art tour, you'll see the Gates of Paradise, the marble Santa Maria del Fiore Cathedral, Giotto's Bell Tower, and much more. During free time this afternoon, consider visiting a museum or do some shopping. Then the next day is free to get lost at the Vatty Uffizi galleries or the Accademia with Michelangelo's famous David statue. Or you may consider an optional morning visit to the Chianti region that is offered, where participants can enjoy a visit to a local vineyard with wine tasting and snacks. In the evening, you'll enjoy a Florentine dinner. Then afterward, your tour director will take you dancing at a popular local nightclub. Next, we take the Highway of the Sun to the ancient city of Rome. After check-in, you'll have time to either relax or go explore Rome for the rest of the day. More opportunity to sample Italy's incredible gelato. The following morning, you'll explore Caesar's Roman Forum and Circus Maximus, where chariot races were held. These ruins date back to the 8th century BC. Then a trip across the Tiber River brings you to St. Peter's Basilica and Vatican City. Use your leisure time to go see the breathtaking Sistine Chapel, or use your Roman Pass discount card for a more in-depth exploration of the Colosseum, where gladiators fought to the death. Have fun tonight at our tasty Viva Italia pizza party in Trastevere, the perfect spot to get a glimpse of the old world while still enjoying the lifestyle of today's Romans. Now, for those of you ending the trip in Rome, this will be your last night. In the morning, unfortunately, you'll be heading home. But for the majority of travelers, you'll continue south to Greece. For those of you continuing on to Greece, this morning you'll travel to famous Pompeii, the city buried in 20 feet of ash after a volcanic eruption in 79 AD. A local historian will lead you on a tour of the ruins, where you explore the excavated wonders, including homes, markets, and temples that remain intact, and streets that still bear the marks of chariot wheels from 2,000 years ago. Continue your travels across Italy's boot to board our overnight ship to Greece. Pack an overnight bag for this because your main luggage will be stored in the ship's hold. Past travelers have called this part of the trip their favorite as you are entering the relaxing part of your journey. A lot of people like to just sit on the outside decks and watch the sun go down and meet other people. There are restaurants and bars to check out, and always some type of entertainment on board. Once the ship docks, the group will be picked up by our local motor coach, taking you across the peninsula from Patras to Galatas. Here you'll catch a taxi boat for a short ride to the Greek island of Poros. You'll have 3 days to relax by the water and do as much or as little as you'd like. You can just sunbathe and swim in the clear blue sea, or consider optional activities like water skiing, wakeboarding, banana boating, parasailing, and tubing, and you'll enjoy free bike rentals for a day, which offer an opportunity to explore more of the island. Tasty Greek dinners are included every night, and there will be a fun toga party on your last island night. After your relaxing days on the island, you'll board the Flying Dolphin hydrofoil to Athens. Once there, you'll see sites like the 2,400-year-old Parthenon and the Temple of Olympian Zeus. Your free afternoon may find you wandering the paths of Plato and Socrates, or bargaining at a lively market. As this is our last night together, everyone is invited to our Farewell to Verona dinner in the Plaka district, the oldest neighborhood in Athens at the foot of the Acropolis. The next morning, you'll head to the airport and fly back home with many fond memories and plans to return to your favorite city. So that's the Essential Europe trip in a nutshell. Now I'd like to go over everything that is included with the trip. Here you'll see a list of what's included in your base price. You'll get 16 nights in superior tourist class hotels or better. These will include 2 twin beds and your own private bathroom. You'll also receive daily continental breakfast, 7 3-course dinners, and 1 included lunch, a high-speed train from London to Paris, guided tours in London, Paris, Florence, and Rome, the Seine and Rhine river cruises along with an Amsterdam canal cruise, a 2-day Paris museum pass and Paris travel card, an Amsterdam travel card, admissions to Heidelberg Castle, the Berchtesgaden Salt Mines, Colosseum, and Forum, a Roma pass which gives you admission to most of the famous sites in Rome, all scheduled sightseeing as per the itinerary, a private tour director for the entire duration of the tour, and finally a private motor coach. If you opt to go on the extended itinerary, you'll receive an additional 5 nights in superior tourist class hotels or better, an overnight trip to Greece, daily continental breakfast, and 4 3-course specialty dinners. You'll also receive admission into the Pompeii excavations and Acropolis in Athens, along with guided tours from local historians. The trip cost depends on which option you choose. The 18-day package is $4,465 per person. If you want the longer 23-day trip, add an additional $865 per person for a total of $5,330. I can tell you from past trips that more than 75% of the group will continue on to Greece. And remember, you cannot add the extension while you are on the trip. Now for the few things that are not included. Those would be any meals, beverages, admissions, and transportation not mentioned in the inclusions, and any optional excursions that are offered to you during the trip. There are 3 optional excursions offered on this tour: the Can-Can Capriccio in Paris, whitewater rafting in Austria, and the Chianti wine tasting in Florence. In addition to these excursions, you will have the option to participate in water sports in Poros for those of you on the Greece extension. You can find details on the optional excursions on your tour's website. Upon arrival in Europe, your tour director will take bookings and payment for the optional activities that you would like to sign up for. AESU can book your flights for you, and there are many advantages if you book your airfare with us. First and most important is peace of mind that we know where you are on your flights at all times. If your flight is delayed or canceled, the airline will inform us, and then we can pass that information on to the tour director, or if necessary, assist with rebooking. Another reason to book air with us is that you'll receive free transfers to and from the airport overseas if you're traveling on the regular tour dates. If you need to change your flights, you can call us and we can take care of that for you. Depending on the type of change, the airline may be charging fees. For more information on your flights and any flight questions, you can call our flight department at 1-800-638-7640. As for spending money, make sure you take a small amount of cash with you. During your travels, ATMs and credit cards are the best way to exchange money. Just make sure your card is on a major network and be sure to call your bank prior to leaving to let them know that you'll be using your cards outside of the country. If you don't, they may put a fraud alert on your card or they could cancel your card entirely. We suggest that you budget around $60 to $80 per day for personal spending, including food, drinks, laundry, some sightseeing, etc. And remember, spending money is not included in the overall price of the tour. As far as documents you'll need, everyone will need a valid passport to travel. Your passport needs to be valid for at least 6 months past your return date. If you are not a U.S. citizen, you'll want to call your consulate to see if you are in need of a visa. U.S. citizens do not need a visa for this trip. As for shots, you'll want to consult your physician. Most people do not need any, and at the moment, none are required by the CDC. Your final tour documents will be emailed to you approximately 3 to 4 weeks prior to departure and will also be available to download from your AESU account. For hints on packing and luggage, check out links on our website for suggestions. You're allowed to take one carry-on bag, such as a backpack, in addition to a purse, and one check bag with a maximum weight of 50 pounds. Your final documents will include the updated rules from the TSA on carry-on bags. When it comes to taking electronics, we advise taking as few as possible and leaving your laptop or tablet at home. Just remember that anything you take with you can also be lost, stolen, or broken. If you bring your smartphone, be sure to check on international rates, especially data roaming with your carrier. We would advise to turn data roaming off while traveling, unless your carrier offers an affordable international package. Please be aware that not all hotels may offer free Wi-Fi. Some hotels offer free service in the public area, such as the hotel lobby. Some may offer complimentary service throughout. Some may offer service at a charge anywhere in the hotel, and some may not offer Wi-Fi at all, or it may be very spotty. There are internet cafes and hotspots everywhere in Europe, and a lot of public areas offer free Wi-Fi. For example, the Tower of London has free Wi-Fi, and so does the Louvre. Keep in mind that these places, including your hotels, can be very busy and the connection might not be very strong. London's Heathrow Airport also offers free Wi-Fi, so you can connect via our group messaging app with the tour director and fellow travelers upon arrival. Now I want to share a few helpful hints with you. Make sure to take a book or some games for the rides in between cities. You'll be covering over 3,000 miles of European soil by ships, ferries, and mostly by private motor coach. If you have a student ID, take it with you because extra discounts may be available at select stores, sites, and museums. Before you leave, plan out things you might want to do during your free time. If there are certain museums or sites, purchase tickets online so you already have them when you get there, allowing you to skip some of the long lines. Be sure to make copies of all of your documents, including your passport, credit cards, travel documents, hotel list, etc. Last but not least, have fun. This is a once-in-a-lifetime trip that you'll remember forever. All right, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you with us in Europe this summer.